This one's gonna trigger a few people. So, you don't have to be Christian or Catholic to know Jesus, to love Jesus. You don't have to be a part of a religion and follow strict rules in order to be spiritual or to know spirituality. And I've had quite a few examples of this in my life in the past year and a half to really learn this for myself. And then a comment the other day really inspired this. And so I love all comments because they give me reflection and mirrors, and we're all just mirrors of each other based off of what's going on within our current subconscious and frequency and all that. And so the comment was, she or he said, it feels like listening to, or what you're talking about would be similar to as if I was trying to explain the brain to a brain surgeon, and I was talking about spirituality. So something like that, like as if I'm not qualified to speak about spirituality because I'm not, Christian or whatever it was that the rest of her message was saying about how I need to find Jesus. And so this one, I'm sure that this will find the people who resonate with this, and maybe it'll trigger a few people, but it's what I'm being called to speak about right now. So I was also living with a few Christian girls, love them so much, but that gave me another opportunity to be surrounded by more, because then I'm surrounded by their circle and everything of Christian people, and they're such loving people, so sweet. But so often it was like they were trying to change me and my beliefs out of good intention so that I would join in on their religion. And so perhaps it was confusing at times because sometimes I would go to church with them, but it was really because I wanted to just observe. And I love being in the frequency of certain parts and topics that are discussed within church, or the songs. Like I love worship music because the frequency, and it's all the same energy when we're talking about God, but it's different verbiage, right? And it's we're just using different ways to explain the truth of who we are. And so when this person was saying that I pretty much wasn't qualified to be speaking or knowing about spirituality because I'm not following a specific religion, even though, I went to Catholic school, was raised Catholic, my dad's from Ireland, I get it. I've made my own decisions based off of all of my life experience and what I've discovered in my own human experience and my own spirituality. We all have the ability, and we've been conditioned to think that we don't. We have the ability to quiet our mind and to just listen and see what comes through, and to receive the guidance and to receive the truth. And yeah, I think that there's a lot of truth behind the Bible, but I think that there was a lot of influence at that time that also kind of mixed up what the message was truly. When I opened the Bible a few months before coming here to Europe and traveling with my dog and everything, I was saying goodbye to friends, and I was like, you know what? Let me see what the Bible's about. You guys keep telling me I need Jesus, I need the Bible. And so I read the first page that I opened it up to, and it was just like that energy of thou shalt not. And I get it. There are principles that are helpful to follow within life, very good ones that keep us in line and keep us doing the good things. And so I think that's great. Don't steal, don't harm others, always do your best. I don't know if that's all in the Bible. It's a mixture of the 4 agreements and whatever. So when I was reading the Law of One this past year too, it talks about how the Bible, there was a lot of truth to it, but that it was also influenced by the Aryan group. And so some parts of it were true and some parts were meant to more enslave humans and control. And so, and we hear that a lot. If you kind of look into religion further, it seems like a great way and system that has been designed to also control the masses. And I have a friend's boyfriend who's so smart, and he used to be a Bible teacher, someone like he would teach religion and was really, really into his religion, Christianity, some form of Christianity. And then he left the church because it was that he discovered that it was really just a way of controlling people. You don't need religion and church in order to know that you are a spiritual being having a human experience. You can connect with anybody in the spiritual realm. You can connect with Jesus. Jesus was a very high vibrational being here on earth who was able to embody the truth of who we all are. And what I've been receiving in my meditations recently is we so often turn to Jesus for answers and for love and for all of that and for guidance, when it's like we have all of that within ourselves too, and we can turn to ourselves and the truth of who we are for that as well. And so maybe this resonates, maybe it doesn't. Take what does. You always use your discernment. And that was the other part of what I was feeling when I was reading that comment. I was like, I think that number one, if I were to just believe this type of message and this comment and all the things that other people have said to me about religion, about my spirituality, then I would just box myself in and I would just trap my soul from discovery, from curiosity, and just put I have some friends who have been raised in the Christian church, in a Christian family, and they desire so bad to follow their dreams and to dive into other parts of spirituality, or just to do yoga and like to do things like that and to share about it, but they can't because their community doesn't allow it. And it was so eye-opening and a gift to me to go through that chapter, to witness that, because that's not what I want for myself. Clearly, like, I sold everything. Now I'm traveling Europe in a van with my dog. Like, I desire freedom to discover and explore and to follow my curiosity, and especially with my spirituality. And so I guess if you're watching this, I think the message is just don't let others trap you in a box in any way, but especially with spirituality. You don't need more books, more YouTube videos, the Bible. You don't need the church in order to know your spirituality, to be a spiritual person, to embrace the truth of who you are. You can go inwards, you can silence your mind, and you can find the guidance that you desire. Maybe you connect with Jesus. Maybe it's another being. And people will say, you're connecting with beings that are not of the highest truth and Jesus is the only way. But it's like, no, we have our free will. We have our free will. So when we go in there into that space and we say, I choose to connect with my angels and guides, I always just put in of the highest truth. And it's just like, I call forward my angels and guides of the highest truth. I connect down to the center of the earth, up to the one infinite creator, the truth of who we are, God, light. I bring it down through my heart. And in my heart, then I ask to connect with my spirits, my angels and guides of the highest truth. I'll say, maybe who wants to come forward today? Sometimes it's an angel or guide. Sometimes it's one of the archangels. Sometimes I call forward someone, like if I know, like Metatron. I like working with Metatron because he's so expansive and big and abundant and everything and everywhere. And I just love that. And so my mom and I did this a while ago, like a few years ago, because I've talked about her. You would know this if you have seen my other videos. If you haven't, then you don't know. But she's a healer, energy worker, super in that realm, surrounded by very gifted people with the gifts of, psychic abilities, mediumship, all of that, and more healing and all of that. And so I have the gift of being around other people who don't box me in that way. I've always been encouraged to explore my spirituality, although I pushed it away my entire childhood. Not childhood. Childhood, I was like very in touch, but then my like teenagehood, yeah, I was pushing away everything my mom was doing and talking about. I was so embarrassed that she was a healer. I was like, I want none of this. This is weird. I want to be accepted by others. And then when I went through my car accident and got super sick and had to go through like a health journey, I then had a spiritual awakening, and then I started like really diving deep into all this stuff. And then I was like, oh, this is what my mom was always talking about when I just like ignored her. So a few years ago, when we were working together, my mom and I, and she was like, okay, now call forward like Raphael, call forward Archangel Michael, call forward Metatron, call forward, and like, what colors do you see? What do you see? And I would like see the colors or see images or see them, and I would explain them to her, and I knew nothing about them, about like what they are known to be. And then I would look them up one at a time online and be like, wow, like they are associated with the color green, like, or they are like this, like known as like this color hair or whatever. And so I was seeing all of that and then validating it by then like looking it up and seeing what other people have discovered and known to be true about these beings. And so that was one of the most eye-opening things to me, was to have that experience and be like, wow, I don't need to read books about Jesus to know Jesus. You know, I love spending time with him and asking him like for guidance or to help me heal things or things like that. But he's not, to me, not the only one with the answers, right? And so we can all live like Jesus. We can all remember the truth of who we are. We can embody unconditional love, embody acceptance, and work with, you know, Jesus, the angels and guides, Mary, archangels. We can work with them to help in our soul's path here on earth, our mission here on earth. But we don't have to do anything. I choose to know that it is part of our purpose to stop looking outside of ourselves and to end this idea of separation. We are not separate. There is nothing that is better, more enlightened, more spiritual that is outside of us that we have to turn to for everything, for answers. It is all within us. And so when we can turn towards ourselves and turn inwards and look and make space, it's really, so much of this is about making the space and the time to look inwards, like spending this time, this thing that we perceive as time, sitting in silence and spending time within. And sometimes in the beginning that takes some time because we have so much chatter. We have so many things, like our energy is just everywhere. All this momentum of ours is just everywhere. So sometimes we just have to bring it back. That's why in my meditation routine, my morning routine, it looks like mindful meditation for 15 minutes following my breath. Maybe it's words I like to do: in authenticity, out, or no, in truth, out authenticity. Or ever since I've talked about this in one of my other videos, one of my meditations that in my meditations, I've been seeing this, and it's crazy because then my mom and her friends are seeing this in hers, and then some of you commented like it's the Merkaba, and I think I'm saying that right. I've heard a few things about that over the years, but didn't really realize that that's what I was seeing within my meditation. So that's another example. Oh, I love that, because that's what I was seeing in my meditation. And then I got the validation that other people had been downloaded with this idea that there's or being shown that there's a star in their heart, a star in their root chakra, and a star in their third eye, and that we're meant to connect the three and unite them within an infinity and connect the mind, the body, and the soul. And then it's also people are talking about it online, I guess, with this Merkaba stuff and all these things. And so we're all coming together and seeing this because we're making the time to look inwards. And so everything that you need is within you. And sure, you can find so much online. You can find so much in the Bible. If you're so lost, some people that I know and love are so lost, actually not even anyone I can think of, maybe people that I've observed online stories about them or whatever. If people just have something to hold on to, that knowing that there is this infiniteness, this grandness of God that we're all a part of, then yeah, sure, religion can be great. But if you're wanting to go deeper and really to remember the truth of who you are, that we are all, what I know to be true, that we are all this one infinite consciousness, that we're all a God experiencing itself, mirrors of each other, here to evolve and bring this higher consciousness to earth and be a part of this shift here on earth. And we chose to be on earth. It's a really fucking intense place, It's a really intense place, but this is what our soul wanted. And our soul has all these contracts that we've made. And sometimes we're a little more ambitious than we would have liked, maybe on the other side, when we're like, okay, this is how my life is going to be. These are my parents, these are my life experiences, and these are my contracts. And so what my mom, and I've talked about this like maybe once in a video, but like my mom and I recently, because she was in a car accident, hit and run, and she broke her back, and so she's healing from it right now. And I have been going through things over the past years. I don't know, it's been a brutal time in the first, at least, chapter of my human experience. And then we have these hardships, like my mom getting hit by the car. And so we just kind of have been joking, like, what was our soul thinking? And then I don't know who said this to her, but it's like, what was coming through for one of her spiritual friends is that we don't understand human relativity when we're on the other side, and we're like picking what we need to experience to help our soul's evolution and to help our mission here on earth. And so now when I'm like calling things in and like working with angels and guides and Jesus and, you know, archangels, I'm like, okay, can you guys help me with this and like give me what I need in order to achieve this healing or this like whatever I'm feeling that I need to call forward, but I choose that this be done with ease and grace in human relativity. And I'm like, is it clear? And so we can have such an experience here on earth when we find that connection with our ability to know the truth and know, you know, who we're working with, who's assisting us here on earth. The law of one even says that we are like gifted a spiritual guide. And what I know is that we have some of us maybe just have one. I know that I have quite a few spirits or angels and guides, and I keep meeting new ones, especially over the past year. And so anyway, the law of one says that we all are gifted a spirit guide to protect us here on earth, and that we can turn to them for anything that we need. And so whenever I'm feeling like moments of fear, and I'm like, you know, a lot of it's associated like with Arlo, like I'll have like a fear of like leaving him in the van when I like go get something in the store, because I just love him so much, and I'm like, I just don't want anything to happen to him. And I'll just spiral. I'll be like picking things out really quick, and I'm just like, I gotta go back. And in moments there, I go, okay, I know that I have guidance. I know that like my path is supported by my angels and guides. And I know that what I fear, I bring forward. And so I can let go of this fear, and I can lean into my angels and guides and ask for them, for their protection, ask for the protection from them, for me, for Arlo, for our home, for our human experience. And you can ask for protection from others, from Jesus, from archangels, you know. And so when we can really lean into that space, when we're experiencing that disconnect, that separateness, and we start to merge the truth with it, we start to alchemize those parts that are controlling our life and bringing forward more and more so that we can learn from it. So our fears are really our guiding light, and we can use them as our guiding light by trying to bring the truth through them. And so having this knowing beyond religion has allowed me to have a human experience that I'm so grateful for. And I think, again, that religion is beautiful in a lot of ways. Love worship music, again. Love that it gives people something to hold on to move through their hard times. Community. Like, I really love the community that church offers. I love like going to, when I would go with some friends, like I love how they would have like potlucks and like events and stuff. And I think that I was watching a video on this too recently, a guy who does van life, and he was just like going to churches not because he was Christian, but that he was living in his van and really just desired community and didn't know where else to find like an organized group like that, where they meet up every week and, you know, they have these events together. And so especially recently, I think humans are starting to realize like we are social creatures and we do need each other, and that we grow so much more when we're able to reflect to each other and just experience that collaborative energy as unity, because we all are one. And so I love that part of the church as well. But, you know, I just witnessed how much it was holding back a lot of my friends from exploring what their soul wanted to explore. And it was really sad to me that they felt like they had to live their life behind doors, or like be secretive about the things that they were doing and the places that they were finding true joy. And so that comment was very special, because I just was able to so firmly say to myself, like, no, I don't need religion to know my spirituality. Everything that I need is within, and we all have the answers within. We all have the ability to understand, to connect to the truth of who we are, to the truth of all that has ever existed. And so I hope that this resonated. I hope that this finds exactly who it's meant to find. And so if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here and you want to see more of this and some travel stuff. Can't really make any videos outdoors because here in Portugal right now, it is very windy, and it has been raining on and off, and like the waves outside, the ocean's still like right there. It's so beautiful. I'm here for 2 nights in this area because I'm waiting to get an oil change, because in Europe compared to America, things are just closed at different times and like not operating as frequently as in America. But part of the reason I left America is because we're just like so overworked, and the society is just like go, 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 go. And I just could not, my nervous system, my body, my physical body was like, I can't be in this anymore. Maybe one day I'll go back and I'll bring everything that I learned over here, over there. I don't know. I don't want to abandon America, because I think that there are some big shifts going on there. But for my own physical, mental, spiritual well-being, I had to be here. And so waiting to get an oil change, and then I am going down south in Portugal and then back up north to France to meet my mom. And today I moved so slow today. Arlo and I, my dog, just took like the whole day to chill and like get used to like living in the van. This is like our first full day in the van, just being like parked up. And it felt really good to just like relax and look at the ocean and make a list of like all the places that my soul wants to go to over the next year. So I made like a plan for a rough draft of a plan for the next like 9 months. And it also makes it a lot easier because now I have people, like friends of mine, who want to come visit. And I can kind of say like, oh, well, I'm planning to be around this area, but I'm flexible, which is like what I love about the van, because like I can change my plans. I don't have any like rent agreements or Airbnb agreements. And so I'm really happy that I was able to go within and learn how to communicate and see what my soul wanted and choose this life and choose to follow that no matter what. Yesterday I made a video on how to actually connect with your heart and receive guidance from within from there. And that's how I've been able to start deconditioning the parts of me that thought that I needed other things to tell me how to live. Just like the topic of this video, right? Like we don't need the Bible to understand the truth of who we are, to understand our spirituality. And so I didn't need all these other things telling me how to live my life anymore. It was all from within. And then when I turned to that and then brought that forward into my human experience, it's like now I'm starting to like feel so much joy. And like this is another video that I want to make, but time has been like moving so much slower because I'm experiencing so much in such a short amount of time. And so when I'll end this video soon, it's kind of getting long, but when I was straight out of college, I moved onto a boat and I was doing like yacht life, and I was working on a yacht, and I was living in Mexico, and I was there for like about 6 months, and that time moved so slow. And I was just like, for the next 6 years or whatever, when I was living in Orange County in California, I was just reflecting on that time of how it moved so slow. And then those 6 years in Orange County just went so quick. They went so quick because I was doing the same thing every day. A lot of it was because I was healing from a chronic illness, but like same job, same relationship, just like same old, same walking trails. And like, although it was all very beautiful and I miss it a lot, it was just like time was flying by me. My life was flying by me. The lessons that I was meant to learn were just like there, just like, are you ever gonna learn? Are you ever going to learn? Are you ever going to grow through this? Are you ever going to allow yourself to live and to just follow what your soul wants? And so, yeah, now that I am really just flying by the seat of my pants, time is going slow, and I feel like there's just so much more life within this experience, within this perceived physical manifestation of reality. Did I say that right? Perceived reality. Physical manifestation of reality, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. So, again, I will see you in tomorrow's video, and tomorrow I'll be at a new spot, hopefully a little bit less windy. Maybe we can chat outside and I can show you a little bit of Portugal. Right now I'm gonna put a jacket on, like all the jackets that I have, which is not very many because it's cold out there, and like put my hat on to hold my hair and just go walk in this windstorm. I think that it's like 50 miles per hour wind right now, or gusts is what it said. And so we'll go walk on the beach and get some of Arlo's energy out, and then make a cozy little dinner and hopefully read a little bit and just really take in this new life, this new chapter of life. We have many chapters of life. So, okay, I will see you in tomorrow's video, and thank you so much for being here, and goodbye.